And we're going to continue with this, the 11th chapter of the Darkangel. Ariel has returned to the vampire's castle. They are having a conversation. She's not as in his thrall as when she was. Her wounds from the ordeal they both suffered have healed. His haven't. He has to go home and have his mom stitch him up because there's no blood inside of him. And we will continue from there. Although sorry to continue the synopsis, although she doesn't find him as attractive as she once did, he is now saying, in a very condescending way, that he is beginning to find her beautiful. The vampire whirled, as if her unexpected words had made him suddenly aware of her again. She felt the wind of his whirling buffet her, was conscious how easily, with one swift sweep of wing or arm, he might bat her back over Brink's edge to the plain far, far below, watching him, his tightened lips and glaring eyes. For a moment she feared he might spring, but he subsided at last, breathing heavily. "Go then," he said abruptly, "and weave." Ariel stood gazing at him, knowing she had to be thankful or surprised, and was neither, only relieved. You will let me live. You will let me live." Now that he finally had granted it, she could think of nothing else to say. "For now," he snapped. "Until the morrow," his voice sounded oddly hollow. "Before I leave this castle in the morning, I shall strangle you." Ariel faced him and said nothing, refusing to let her heart quail. If the vampire were not dead by the morrow's morn, she told herself, her life would be worth little anyway. The Icarus turned from her impatiently, made a gesture of dismissal. "Begone!" Ariel left the top stone step, came forward into the garden, started away from him through the wild, flowering, fruitless tangle. But as she went, she heard the rustle of wings, as he turned again to view her. "Ah me," she heard him murmuring. "Girl, even your walk has changed. You move straight shoulders as a princess now, no longer creep and cringe like a little slave." Ariel fought an impulse to hunch, hurry away, hide from his gaze. She held to her pace and did not turn, for she feared that if she should so much as glance at him, he might call her back, and she did not trust his sudden quietness. It puzzled her. She could not make it out. He sighed then, as one might sigh over a lost trifle. "It will be a pity killing you." Ariel gave no sign that she had heard. The softness of his words filled her with dread. She continued swiftly, steadily, away from him across the garden, and took the steps down into the caves. And I'm going to pause there, even though this is only a 3-minute video, just to keep the pauses in this one to the breaks in the narrative. But I will be back shortly.